In this video, I'm going to take a look at Rolemaster, and I'm going to explain why I like it so much. Hey everybody, Steve Joy here. In other videos, quite a few of my videos, I've expressed that I really like Rolemaster. It's an old school game, and it's basically my favorite. Alternatives to D&D, basically. Moldvay Basic is my favorite game, too. I've got a few favorites. That one, Rolemaster, Traveler. Those are really my favorites. Before anybody asks, I had a fight with a fountain pen, and I lost. That's why there's goop all over my hands. I can't get rid of it, so it's stuck on there for a while. But anyway, I just wanted to go through and show you why I like Rolemaster. It occurred to me that even though I say that, a lot of people maybe haven't had a look at Rolemaster before. So yeah, here we go. So I'm going to start with the very basics, the fantasy part of it. Although there is a science fiction, you could get into that as well. There's a mass combat system. There's also a well, you'll see. But anyway, I'll start with the fantasy part of it And the thing to remember is this game, it looks scary, but it's not as scary as it really is. These are actually my original books, the first ones that I ever owned. I've got them all indexed here. And basically starts off with a lot of information on campaigns, running campaigns, and that sort of thing. This is an extremely detailed game. And you've got your different classes, and then you've got different kinds of skills. So you've got maneuvering skills, weapon skills, general skills, magic skills, special skills. Your prime requisites here. So this game, Rolemaster, one of the things that I like about it is that your character can go up to a level 100 or even beyond that, which I think is pretty fun. I don't like the experience system at all in it. I always had to kind of make my own because it's sort of it's not a very good experience system for my tastes anyway. You basically need 10,000 experience points in order to get to the next level. Even if you're, say, 65th level and you want to get to 66th level, it still requires 10,000 experience points. That didn't make a lot of sense to me, so I modified the hell out of that. Also, when characters start at first level, they're so weak. I considered them basically unplayable, and also the adventures I had to make were just too weak. So I didn't want to make those kind of really weak adventures. So what I would do is I would have players roll up a 5th level character, and I would start out at 5th level. Because considering that you can go up to level 100 or even in excess of that, I figured 5th level was sort of like first level D&D. If you take a 20-sided die, and you think about a 20-sided die, you can divide a 20-sided die. You can think of it as a percentile die, where each increment of 1 on the 20-sided die is 5%. So in that way, you can convert Rolemaster over, because Rolemaster uses a percentile system. It uses 2 10-sided dice. So one of the things that I really liked about Rolemaster 2 is that when you roll up your stats, these are the possibilities that your stats could be. These are the bonuses that your stat could have. So basically, if you had a 98, 99, you get a plus 20, right? To your rolls to try and accomplish skills and whatever. But the thing that I liked about it was that you would roll up what your stats are now, and then you'd roll up what your stats could become later on as you progress. I thought that was a really neat system. I still really like that system. Uses resistance rolls instead of saving throws. You get bonuses according to what your class is or profession. In this case, you get bonuses each level, like it'll go up a little bit each level, whatever skill you might have in all the various different categories of skills. There's a ton of skills in this game. And I gotta slow down. I'm kind of rushing here. Let me see here. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, maybe I'm not. Just give me a second here. Character sheets. Okay. So this is a book of character sheets. There's so much material for Rolemaster. It's one of the reasons I like it so much. I believe most of this is available as PDFs on drive-thru, but I'm not sure it all is or whatnot. But I think a lot of it is. So here you have, these are all different character sheets for the different classes or professions, if you like. Now, if you'll notice, this is huge. It's because there are a ton of them, and they're all really different. Right, here's Necromancer. There's a Sorcerer. So these are their skills. So each character class has different progressions for their skills. So you've got a skill sheet for each character class. Let me see here. This is the main cover sheet, and then this is for all the different classes. So you can do the main cover sheet, and then you have your classes here. So with the main cover sheet, as you can see, you've got Constitution, Agility, Self-Discipline, Memory, Reasoning, Strength, Quickness, Presence, Intuition, Empathy, and Appearance. I really like it. Another thing I like is they've got a couple little spots here if you want to do something else too. So you've got your temporary, that's what your current stat is at, and then you've got your potential, what it could be. You've got your development points, which you spend when you level up. So it's a very intricate and detailed game. So going on from the characters, the armor is just intense. They've got 20 different kinds of armor. Now they call them armor types, not armor classes. And they're very specific to the kind of armor that you're wearing, which is something that I actually really liked about Rolemaster. And the reason being is that you didn't really just buy a chain sheet or chain shirt and throw a hauberk over it and something else and just go out and run around doing whatever you wanted. Armor, basically, it's like today. If you were going to wear armor, you have to wear basically what soldiers are wearing, and that's going to basically mostly be determined by what your culture is and where you're from. And you're not going to throw together piecemeal armor, or very unlikely to, and you're unlikely to back in the Middle Ages too. You would wear whatever people mostly wore in your country, and especially soldiers, if you were allowed to wear armor at all, which you might not be allowed to. So this is something that I really liked for that reason. And then you have maneuver penalties based on your armor, and missile attack penalties if you're wearing the armor, quickness penalties for the kind of armor you're wearing. Here's the experience points thing, as I was saying. Yeah, okay, it didn't quite go out. It does change a little bit. Like, it goes from 340,000 to 380,000. I still didn't like it, and I found that it just took forever to advance, so I kind of modified it. I used basically, goals. I would just, after huge fights and whatever, say, yeah, we've done enough, and go up. Here's some different races. As you can see, you've got adjustments according to, for your different stats. So a high man might have a +10 on strength, a -5 on quickness, a +10 on presence, etc. Resistance rolls, which is essentially saving throws. Now, this is something kind of interesting that I just absolutely love about Rolemaster 2, is that you've got 3 primary types of magic. You've got essence, channeling, and mentalism. I really like that, and you'll see why in a little bit. And then poison and disease. Those are basically your saving throws there. I'm trying to think what else here in this book. These are the characters, or this is for keeping track of combat for the Game Master. You can write down the different opponents, and you can keep track as you're playing. So I think the thing that Rolemaster is probably the best known for is the combat system, which for a lot of people seems really complicated. Surprisingly enough, it is complicated. I opened it up and you, whoa, hey, wait a minute, I'm out. But just wait, it's actually worth it. So you've got all your different kinds of armor types up here. And then you've got your attack rolls down the sides. And what you do is you roll an attack, and then you take off the opponent's defensive bonus, which is for their armor and their speed and whatever. And then you cross-index. Right here we're using a broadsword, so you cross-index with the kind of armor. So here we have an 8AS. So 8AS, is that an 8? Yes. 8AS is 8 critical type A slashing. So that's what you've done. You've done 8 points of damage. You've done a class A slash. So then you come over to this table. This is slash. See how quickly I did that? You get used to it. You can rip through this so fast, and it's well worth it. So here's the A. You roll your percentile dice. Oh, I rolled a 71. It says slash tendons in foe's lower leg, foe at minus 30%, and takes 2 hits per round, plus 4 hits, stun foe for 2 rounds. Poor sucker. I love the combat system in Rolemaster for this. And every spell has these, all this magic has these charts. Every weapon has these charts. So because it requires so many charts, you are a little bit limited in the kinds of weapons. Like there aren't a huge ton of weapons, but you can modify these a little bit, and you can change them around, and you can make your own weapons if you really want. But I never had any problems with it at all. And then the other thing is monsters. So like you've got bite attack table here, claw talon attack table, and the same thing. You look at what you rolled minus the defensive bonus. You cross index. There's an 8AS again. So that's an 8 type A critical, and it's a slash. But let's take a look at this one. Here we've got an F, or we've got 20 points and an F puncture. Ooh. That doesn't sound good. I don't think it goes up to F, so I'd have to... So you go... Yeah, it doesn't. So we'll just go to E, because I don't really remember what F is for. So we'll do F puncture, grappling. So that is over here in the weapons. Slashing, puncture, E. What did I say? Oh, yeah, it was... So then you roll, and let's say you got 71, and it's an E, which E's are really bad. So A are light criticals, all the way up to E, which are really terrible. So strike through foe's back, sever a vein. Foe is stunned and unable to parry for 12 rounds, then dies. Well, you don't necessarily die. Somebody has to get to you and do healing and whatever. But as you can see, that's pretty severe. And stunned is bad. Stunned is basically you're standing there and you can't really do anything. Because you just got stabbed with a great big weapon. So they've got like unbalancing, strikes from tiny animals, martial arts, attacks, critical strikes for martial arts, sweeps and throws. It just has tons. Like, this is so much fun, especially because it's so detailed. And I know this looks daunting. Like, I had all these in here. I got so I didn't even need those. I migrated over to just using this as sort of an updated version. It's the same rules, but it's a little bit updated. So I started using these. You get so you can find stuff really quickly. Oh, by the way, there was somebody who made a comment about I use the word crunch too much. This is what crunch looks like. They didn't know what crunch was. This is crunch. It's not extreme crunch. I can show you games that are a lot crunchier. But this is a lot of crunch in here. So this is Spell Law. So this is a book of just magic spells. So I'm going to show you what I like so much about these. Now there's the 3 different kinds. Right, there's the essence, there's the, there's also hybrid spells. I forgot about hybrid spells. So hybrid spells are combinations of the 2 different kinds, right? So if you have essence, channeling, and mentalism, so if you can have something that uses a little bit of essence, a little bit of channeling, and that would be called a hybrid spell. I forgot about those. Those are pretty neat ones. So the thing about the spells, what I like about them, so we'll look at the channeling spells. So here's a list. These are 5 spells. So you've got locating ways, calm spirits, creations, symbolic ways, and lore. So once you learn one of these, then as you progress in levels, these other ones will become available to you. And it costs you power points to cast a spell. So if a spell is 8th level, it's going to cost you 8 power points. And basically by 8th level, you're only going to have about 8 power points. Or you might have, I think, up to double that. You may have more than that, but you're not going to have a lot. So at 8th level, you could do location 300 foot, right? And what you do is you look down to location 8 down here as above except range is 300 feet. So here's location, 1 minute per level, range 100 feet. Gives a direction and distance to any specific object or place that the caster is familiar with or has had described in detail. So that would be location. And then as you progress in level, you can cast the lower level ones to save on power points if you want, or you can cast tougher ones. So I noticed in 5e, they kind of borrowed from this kind of a little bit. They'd have, if you can cast this kind of tougher version of this spell. But this is the granddaddy of it. This is just awesome. You've got all these, this is the essence ones. And so each spell also has its own, like different magics have their own critical tables that will cause an attack matrix. Like this is for a fireball, for example. Here we have lightning bolt. Here we have ice bolt, fire bolt. And same thing, you look up your armor. You look up what you rolled, modified roll. You go over, you see what your damage is, 16D on firebolt. And then you would look that up on your heat. Right? So you'd look this up and you would find it and it would read it. One thing I really liked about this is it looks like it's handwritten. I really liked that. It gave it kind of a... gave it the feel that I like, because I really like the feel of games that you can modify them, you can make them your own, you can change things. And I think having little handwritten parts like that really made it feel that way for me. And I even have some blank ones of these, so I can just create my own if I want, and I really like that. One thing interesting is 66 is really bad. You want to avoid 66. As you can see, it's got a range all the way up, and then 66 and 100. Both of those are your oops. You don't want to get hit with those. Mentalism is, again, another kind of magic. And there's just these are spells, but because there's so many versions of it, there's hundreds and hundreds of them. Right? And I'm just getting started here. So this is with the standard game. All these spells come with the standard game. All this magic comes with the standard game. So you gotta think, when I played this, there was no Dungeons Guild. There was not, there wasn't all this stuff online, all these resources. So this game just had a mountain of stuff for it, way more than AD&D did. It's one of the reasons I switched over and I played it for so long. So here's the monsters, creatures, and treasure. And it's just all different kinds of monsters in here. Undead monsters, and then descriptions of them, etc. Standard stuff. They mostly just use the bite and claw tables and whatever in Arm's Law there. I've got old characters from ages ago. All right, so that's the basic game. Now, okay, here's the Rolemaster Companion. This is the very first companion that came out. Again, I have it indexed. I just found it easier to find stuff by doing that. Today, I wish I kind of hadn't, because it's kind of hard on the books. But, it is what it is. So here we've got all kinds of different new spells. So Stone Mastery, and they go all the way up to 50th level. Like, how awesome is that? A 50th level spell, right? And yeah, so these are all different spells. And then we've got all kinds of new classes in here too, which is why that other book was so... Here there's paladins. We've got Nightblades, which is kind of like a ninja. What we've got here, druids. These are just their spells, arcane spells. So there's an arcane caster in here. Yeah, so here we are. So we've got, these are the new classes. This is just Companion 1. So the new classes, the Burglar, the Barbarian, the High Warrior Monk, the Archmage, the Nightblade, and the Delver. That's funny. I had characters play almost all of these. I had a Barbarian, I had a High Warrior Monk, I had an Archmage. Archmages are tough. I like them. They're really cool. Nightblades are cool too, except there's one thing we can never figure out what the hell how to use it. Those adrenal moves. I don't know. I haven't visited it in a long time, but whoa, man, it was hard to figure out. So it's got herbs, you know. I guess it's an amazing resource, this book. Even if you don't play this game, the books themselves just full of information, and it's kind of like how the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide is just such a rich resource of wandering monsters tables and insanity tables and stuff like that. This is the same thing. It's just got so much cool stuff in it. New creatures. So that's Companion 1. We've got Companion 2. Hidden here, we've got the Warlock, the Witch, the Conjurer, the Sage, the Ruin Master, the Shaman, the Beastmaster, the Warrior Mage, the Dervish, the Paladin. Warrior Mages are good. Again, more spells. Right? Beastmaster. The spells go all the way up to 50th level. Just because 50th level's cool. They have some powerful stuff too. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so that's two. That's 2. Here's 3. Same thing. We've got Dream Lords, Montbat, Chaotic Lord. I'm only reading the ones too that are magic users. There's lots of ones that aren't magic users in here too. Moon Mage. And then this has piles of new spells. So you can see how this was like before, sort of pre-internet. This was like amazing to see all these character classes and everything. It was so cool. What are we at here? 4. Number 4 here. Same thing. Tons of new stuff in it. Elementals in it now. An enchanter. Evil magician. Ooh, even evil magician spells. Right? Open and close. Okay, so there's different. You have spells that only your class can cast, and then you have open and closed spells. Open spells are easier to cast. Closed ones are harder to cast. There's a lot of distinctions there. So open spells are a little less powerful than closed ones, and then actual spells that are cast by your profession or character class are the most powerful ones. So that's why you see open and closed here. I'm just trying to give you a quick overview. I mean, I'm already at 23 minutes, and I haven't even gotten through all the companions yet. So here's 4. Here's 5. Again, as you can see, I've got them all marked out. But we've got more magic user, Force Mage, Maleficent, Wizard, Alchemist, Druid, etc. There'll be more non-magical kinds in here too. Time Master, Spell List. Spells go all the way up to 50th level. Time Law. The spells are really cool in this. And then again, in each companion, there's new kind of critical hits, new kind of tables to use. Here's a Disintegration critical strike table. Right, Shrapnel critical strike table. Starvation, Dehydration critical strike table. Like, how awesome is that? Vibration critical strike table. Stun critical strike table. Yeah, so that's 5. Here's 6. Same thing. Oh, I quit putting on. I probably ran out of them is what happened. Again, more lots of different options. Alternative experience point requirements. It's kind of neat. Anyway, you get the idea. This is just for alchemists. Alchemy Companion. This was all of the, for creating, an alchemist. Everybody knows what an alchemist is. This is just for that. To all kinds of different kinds of, how to make magic, how to make magic items and magic spells and wards and runes and all that kind of fun stuff. This is the heroes and rogues, so if you need some characters pre-made, because that's something about this game that's kind of tough, is the NPCs could take a while to generate. I'm sure they've got generators now online and whatever. I haven't looked, but this was really helpful back before the internet, right? Anyway, because then you could just like quickly and just change a few things and you've got a new guy, right? So I like that one. So that's the companions, and that is the basic game. So the real magic starts now. We've also got the space version of the game. This is the space combat. It uses chits or tokens, or whatever you like, and it's got space combat, and the space combat's really cool. It looks really complicated, and it's a fair chunk of fudge, all right, but it's not so complicated that I couldn't play it. It's much easier than Starfleet Battles, for example. Which if you watch my last video, you know what I think about that. It's an awesome game, but I'm not up to it. But anyway, this game's really cool. 100% compatible with the fantasy. So if you want to have starships in your fantasy, no problem. They just go right in. Like, seriously. It's unreal. Then we've got the space version. This is like the basic game, but this is in outer space. So you've got technology, right? You've got the player's book. This is all the different player characters. Again, now if you'll look, the stats work exactly the same way as the fantasy book. Everything works the same, even the stat gains all works the same. 100% compatible, no modifications needed. Right? Personal maneuvers. GM book. Now here we've got random generation tables and whatever. But again, it's all 100% compatible. So if you want to have a science fiction fantasy game that's just off the hook, yeah, this game is great. And of course, Star Strike, these two work together perfectly. Then you've got Armored Assault. Again, works great if you want to have armored weapons going after. I always use minis, so these are unpunched. But if you want to use tanks and stuff, right, and you want to go after wizards and orcs and whatever, absolutely, 100%, completely doable. Again, completely compatible. Yeah, so awesome game. And then we've got War Law. This is the mass combat system for the game. Again, this is 100% compatible with everything. This is for the fantasy version of the game, and it's just for large-scale combats. If you want to take your game to the epic level, and have great big giant armies battling each other. Well, these are the rules. These will do it. So you can have your fantasy, your dungeon crawling and everything else, and then you can have great big, huge battles if you want to using War Law. Then, of course, if you want to have tanks in it, it would take a little wrangling, but not much. Not much. It's all pretty compatible. And then on top of it, if you want to play in Middle Earth, this book is amazing. I just love this. I'm going to do another version, another video about this game here. But this is basically Middle Earth done with the Rolemaster rules. So it's a little bit pared down. It's a little bit simplified. It's a great, one to start with if you want to get into Rolemaster. Maybe a little less daunting, but it's all compatible with everything. So if you want to bring in, if you have an idea, you want like Middle Earth, but you want it with spaceships and stuff, go ahead. If you want it, if you want to have lots of mass combats, go ahead. It's just, this is why I like this game so much. This is the cyber version of it, the cyberpunk version of the game. And this enters all the sort of cyber technologies and everything else that you might want to use in a game. I highlighted everything. Annoying. I hate it when I wreck games. I mean, at the time I didn't know they were going to become like hard to find and rare. Who knew? But anyway, so again, same thing. I mean, if you want to bring in a wizard, if you want to bring in magic, you can very easily, right? With rich, complex details that you don't get in games that normally cover everything. This has so much richness and detail to it, as opposed to other generic role-playing games where you're just supposed to be able to just play anything and whatever you want. This one, so much special care was taken with each genre, but also care was taken to make sure that it was all going to be compatible and work together, so you could really create rich, amazing worlds if you wanted. And then finally, this one is just a companion for the Cyberpunk game. I believe Death Valley, yeah, cyberspace. So yeah, that's it. I just thought I'd run through a quick look, show you quickly, just because I'm always talking about it, and I just thought I would show exactly why, just in case there's anybody out there that doesn't know why anyone would love a game that's so crunchy. Again, for the zone of crunch just means a lot of detail and a little bit of math, or a lot of math. This doesn't have much math, but it has a lot of detail, lots of tables and stuff. That's called crunch. That's what someone means when they say crunch. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it. I hope that I've sparked someone's imagination out there to try this game out. It's a lot of fun. I sure love it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a like and a thumbs up, and please leave a comment if you have any comments, any experiences you've had playing the game, or if I left anything out, maybe I missed something. I don't know. I don't know if I have all the companions or not. But anything you can add to the conversation, I would absolutely love to hear it. I love hearing about Rolemaster. I love hearing about people's games. So go ahead. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.